The Tulalip History Project welcomes tribal elder Lavinia Carpenter, interviewed by her cousin Jeannie McCoy. Serving the Tulalip tribes for almost 44 years, Lavinia's level of commitment and hard work, traits she learned from her father, positively impacted those around her. Lavinia shares reflections of her dad about being an independent child and her career.
First, tell us who your parents were.
My parents were Philip Michael Contrero, and my mom was Catherine Ethel Sheldon.
Some of his sisters.
His sister was, the oldest one was Clara, and the next was Ellen, and then Elsie several years later.
Yeah. Long time later comes his half-brother.
Yeah.
Dick.
Oh, and Dick.
Yeah, Dickie. What favorite story do you have about your dad?
He taught us so much that I think he was like a deacon at the church. So he passed on his religion with us, and we didn't know it. So we were taught integrity and so many other things by him because of his religion.
One of the biggest things was what a hard worker he was.
He was. Nothing mediocre. We just did our best. So, and he raised 12 of us. My favorite story about him is he was so gentle with us. We never got spanked. And one day, I don't even remember what I did, but he was giving me a lecture on what I did wrong. And when he got through with that, I says, "Can you beat me instead?" He made me feel so bad. But he was, yeah, I adored him.
And what did he say to your mom after he left you? He went in to talk to your mom.
He says, "What are we going to do with her?" he forgot his trend. Yeah. But I remember as a child I would get up and make his coffee for him before he went to work, and helped him get his lunch together, and I just adored him.
Tell us about what he did, what kind of work he did.
He worked at construction, but he mostly drove heavy equipment, and bulldozer was his specialty. So he eventually got a job with a white firm, and he operated all of their machines, all of them. He was the only one they requested to have them do work for him if they wanted something done. He did mostly landscaping with the bulldozer.
He started in that work because he started to work with BIA first?
Yeah, he was originally hired to build roads for the BIA, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and then he eventually got the job with the white firm, and he stayed with them until he passed.
Yeah.
And he worked until he couldn't go there anymore.
When he died, you were stationed.
We were stationed in Japan when he passed. And he tried to hang on until I got there, but he just couldn't go anymore.
So you came home early than your husband.
Yes, because he got injured and he broke his kneecap or whatever, and they wouldn't let him come home with me. So I was on my own with 3 children. And it's a good thing I was the oldest of the family, of the girls, because I had took on a lot of responsibility in caring for the rest of them. So
Yeah.
he trusted me so much that when I was 12, they left me at home while they both got jobs elsewhere. So he had me give him a menu for the week. I was 12 years old. And he left me with, he got me the groceries I needed, but he also left me a signed check. I talked to the grocer that if I needed anything to let me have it. And I had one, my brother was just a toddler, and he still had a bottle, and he bit the nipple off. We only had 1 bottle, and so we had to train him to a cup while they were under my care. So, but we lived, I think, 2 miles from town, and we didn't have a telephone, and I just had the responsibility of raising everybody that was younger than me.
Tell him about what Phil said when you got left in charge of the kids.
Oh, my oldest brother said, he said, "You can't tell me what to do." I says, "I shouldn't have to. You're old enough to do it on your own." Yeah, one time he was fooling around with the axe, and he broke the handle off. So he's showing off, and he was waving it around, and he dropped it on top of his head. And when my mom went into a panic. She didn't know what she was going to do, and the doctor was 7 miles away. I said, "Just get in the car. We're going to the doctor." I was still only 12, around there, and so she got in the car, and I drove her to Paulsbo, which was 7 miles away, and she was telling my dad about it when he got home, and she says, and Lavinia drove me to the doctor. And she didn't say Lavinia, she says, "That damn kid." And I was just so independent that they didn't know what they were going to do with me. But when I was just a teenager, they let me go to California on my own. Gave me enough money to get there.
Wow.
And I worried about getting on the wrong bus and ending up somewhere I didn't belong.
Yeah.
But I made it. And I went to California and babysat for Dick and Jen. And John was just a toddler, or, you know, he wasn't very old. So I babysat while I both worked.
Wow.
And I spent the summer with them. Then I hopped the bus and went back home.
Going back to when Phil did the axe accident, but how did they find out how you knew how to drive?
We had to tell her. She wanted to know, when did you learn to drive? And I said, so every day you took a nap. Roger and I took the car. We had a long driveway which circled around the house. So we never left the yard. We just drove around the driveway, and she told my dad about it, and he said, he says, oh, I wondered why I had to change my clutch. But I was a piece of work. But it's a good thing. It got me through a marriage. My husband was comfortable with leaving me home for 9 months out of the year. And I could make decisions, and I had full power to do anything, but I didn't do much of anything without consulting him first. But he trusted me. So he was gone 9 months out of the year most of the time. So I had to make a lot of decisions on my own. But
What was his name?
his name was Lavinia Carpenter, but we called him Terrible. He was Terrible Terry to us. So he liked to play with my head.
When did you guys get married?
We got married in August of 1953.
Was he stationed at Bremerton or someplace?
He started out at Keyport, and then he was transferred to the Lexington aircraft carrier. And after that, we spent a lot of time with his training, because they trained him to repair computers and operate them. So he was part of the fire control technicians that fired them on the missiles.
Oh.
So, yeah, he had a good mind, but he still liked to play with my head. One time, I'm getting off track now. One time, he come in, he put his jacket on. I says, where are you going? He says, if you're going with me, you're not going looking like that. So I got ready to go. It took me over an hour to get ready to go. We went out and put the truck in the garage.
You got the boys all ready?
No, we didn't have the boys yet,
Oh, okay.
but I had to get ready. Yeah.
He liked to play jokes on Dick and Jen.
He did. They were drinking the night before, and I didn't drink, but they did, and he called her up the next day, and he says, pretended like he was somebody else. And he says, I'm redecorating my house. She worked for a paint company and as a bookkeeper. And I don't know what colors to buy. She says, well, what kind of furniture do you have? Describe your furniture. So he started out slow, but he was identifying her furniture. Then he became, damn you, Terry. Oh, we had so much fun with them.
Yeah. So Dick would give the boys things to put in the trunk and take so he could take them home.
Oh, yeah.
And
When we got ready to move back to, Terry was diagnosed with, I don't know if they diagnosed it as cancer yet or not, but he wanted to make sure we were back at Tulalip so we'd be with family. And so they came to help us pack, and so we had all of our furniture they helped us put in the van, and when Dick got ready to leave, he had trash cans and just junk. He was paying him back for letting the kids have anything they wanted. But he didn't. I wasn't the only one he picked on.
where did you meet?
When do we meet? People, some of the guys from Keyport would come over because we had a piano and they could just hang out. We didn't date them, they just hung out. I guess we were more of a family that they wanted to see. I don't know. That's how we met.
Tell us about how your name stuck, sister stuck.
Oh, my brothers and sisters, my brother, mostly my older brother, he called me sister. So everybody else called me sister too. Uncle Dick called me sister, his wife called me sister.
So you babysat for Dick and Jen, and in your senior year, you spent at Edmonds.
Yeah, right.
And you babysat my family.
Right. I spent a whole year with them, and they did everything for me. They made sure I had a suit and bought me everything I wanted to do. Like one day I decided I want to make a coat. So Nettie provided the material and everything, and I made myself a coat, and I was able to model it, and I like to sew.
Going back to your dad, one time, you found a ball on the way home?
Oh, yeah. That's where he taught us integrity. He told us, he talked, kind of lectured us, told us when we found the ball, it wasn't ours. We could not keep it. We had to put it back. And he also said, don't ever do anything that somebody might see you do and you know it's wrong, but don't do it. Even though somebody sees you do it, don't. And so that's where we kind of learned integrity and didn't know it.
What I remember is being able to go to your guys' house. Your big, it looked like a really big house to me when I was there. Yeah.
Yeah. Our house was always open to anybody that wanted to come. There were 13 of us, or 14 counting my mom and dad, you know, and 12 children and the parents. And it was only, it was a log house, and I don't know how many square feet, but it was a 2-story, and people just liked to come. I mean, even people that were drinkers, and at that time my dad didn't drink. He never drank while I was at home. And we would get people that had been drinking, and my dad would still welcome, and he taught us to welcome them. But you also were seen and not heard too. And so we had, like Aunt Jan, when she was having marital problems, she stayed with us for a long time, and we already had a crowded house. We were bundled up in beds together and everything, and but he always made sure they were welcome, and my mom always made sure she had food. We always had food for whoever was there.
So tell us about your boys.
Alan was born in Alameda, California, and Vern was born in San Diego, and Mark was born in Long Beach, California. And Mark was just weeks old when we got stationed in Japan. So he was an infant. And they flew us with the United Airlines, and they messaged ahead what kind of formula Mark had, so no matter where I went, they knew what kind of food he had. And the Japanese would run alongside the taxi cab just so they could see the baby. And we had, you had maid service too, didn't you, when you were in the Philippines?
Yeah.
The maid only cost $10 a month. Gas was only 15 cents. And I came home one day, and like I said, Mark was an infant. And we were there for 2 years. And the maid was feeding him raw fish, little bitty fish in a bowl. And I didn't know what to do about it. So I just let her feed him. But he survived.
All of you and your brothers and sisters all grew up with such strong work ethics
Right.
and moral ethics.
Uh-huh. We did. We carried it with us. And my dad always said, you don't know what, if you're gonna go out and the car's got a flat tire, you never know. You've got to be on time. So check these things out before you try to leave. But yeah, I was always on time at work. I was there before 8. I wasn't a last minute 8 person. And I was always the last one to leave. In fact, my coworkers bought me a clock that alerted me when it was time to leave. So, because I'm not a clock watcher. I just know what time I have to be there. My body wakes up at a certain time. I was a bookkeeper, and then they put me into, I was in everything. I started out as a receptionist, and then I would help people type up some of their reports. So I knew about the grants because I typed up their grant reports, and because I needed something to do. It wasn't that busy. There were only maybe 20 of us there. And so I went from being a receptionist to being, while I was still the receptionist, they had a bad audit, and the Bureau wanted the tribe to reimburse them over $100,000. And she gave it to me, and I begged vendors to get receipts, and they had to dig in their archives sometimes. And I ended up saving him $100,000. After that, I became a grants compliance person. I handled their insurance for them. Then I got into the property management. Then I went back to grants compliance, and before I left, they had, just before I retired, they gave me another audit to work on. And our chief finance officer recruited me to help him with it. So I got to do that too before I left.
I know there were some people, they had grants and they had to bring their paperwork to you, and they were terrified. Oh, Lavinia, I got to show this to Lavinia.
Yeah, but I wasn't bashful about it.
Yeah.
And I think I earned a lot of respect because I was that way. We were exercising what my dad had taught us. Do your best, stay honest, don't do anything you shouldn't do. And I didn't.
Yeah.
So,
When you started, you said there was about 20 people.
yeah.
Were you at the gym then?
We were at the gym, and the gym only consisted of the main office, the front reception area, and the 3 offices after that were the CHRs and the grants writer had offices. That was the bulk of the gym. Then they added on the other part, the upstairs. They had rooms upstairs, and it went further back, and they added on the boardroom and the chief executive officer, his office. And then it got way too big for them, and they built a bigger building. I had a good retirement party. I got a beaded cane, and I got a lot of beadwork. I got a lot of positive things that recognized me. And I was just so thrilled with that. It was a big retirement party. And then when I turned 90, I got even more stuff. But yeah, I didn't realize I was important. I was just doing what my dad taught me to do.
The Tulalip History Project appreciates Lavinia's contribution and for sharing her life stories.